This is the fifth video in a series of 17 videos exploring the book The Power of Discipline: How to Use Self-Control and Mental Toughness to Achieve Your Goals by Daniel Walter. In this video, we're going to talk about Chapter 5, Daily Habits to Improve Self-Discipline. You've probably heard the phrase, "We are what we repeatedly do." And it's true. Our habits shape our lives, and over time, they become the reflection of our destiny. Chapter 5 is exactly about that, the daily habits that build or destroy self-discipline. And when we bring this topic into the financial world, it becomes even more powerful. Because after 40, prosperity no longer depends on how hard you work, but on how well you discipline yourself. Think about that for a moment. How many times have you started something with enthusiasm, a financial plan, a new project, a life change, only to fall back into old patterns after a few days? It wasn't because you lacked ability or willpower. It was because you lacked a system. Self-discipline isn't a talent. It's a construction. And that construction is made of simple, daily habits, often invisible to the eye, yet powerful enough to completely transform your financial life. Daniel Walter explains that successful people and ordinary people have one thing in common. Both have routines. The difference lies in the type of routine. While average people create habits that keep them stuck in the same cycle, disciplined people create habits that push them forward. And that difference compounds day after day, until it becomes a canyon between failure and success. So the big question is, which habits are you feeding today? The ones that build or the ones that sabotage? When people talk about self-discipline, many imagine an almost superhuman willpower. But the secret isn't about being strong all the time. It's about automating what is good, building a structure that pulls you toward progress, even when motivation disappears. And that's where daily habits come in. Imagine starting every morning with intention. Before you grab your phone, before checking notifications, you take a few minutes to align your mind. You breathe deeply. Give thanks for what you already have. Remind yourself of what you want to achieve and ask, what can I do today that brings me closer to the life I want to live? That simple gesture completely changes the vibration of your day. You stop living in reactive mode and start living in creative mode. And that is the first step toward prosperity. The truth is that money is merely an expression of your disciplined energy. Those who can't control their time will rarely control their money. Those who waste focus waste opportunity. And those who repeat old habits repeat old results. That's why Chapter 5 is an invitation to rebuild your everyday life, to create a routine that works for you, not against you. Everything starts in the morning. Walter says your morning routine is the foundation of self-discipline. What you do in the first hours of the day sets the tone for everything that follows. And this is especially true after 40, when the body, mind, and emotions demand balance. If you wake up late, rush out the door, skip breakfast, and start reacting to problems, you've already begun the day in survival mode. But if you wake up with time to breathe, meditate, plan, and nourish your body, you start the day with direction. And direction is what separates movement from confusion. Think about it. What would happen if you turned your mornings into a ritual of prosperity? Not a mystical ritual, a conscious one. Waking up a little earlier, stretching your body, drinking water, reading something inspiring, writing down your financial goals, reviewing your budget, and, above all, giving thanks. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools of self-discipline because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. And a mind in a state of abundance makes smarter decisions with money. Daniel Walter cites research showing how gratitude literally reprograms the brain to see more opportunities. And that's exactly what happens when you begin to give thanks, even for the little things. You start to see value where before you only saw scarcity. And this is one of the great secrets of prosperous people. They don't see money merely as currency, but as energy that flows according to their level of consciousness. Another important point in this chapter is the power of saying no. It may sound simple, but it's one of the highest forms of discipline. Saying no to an impulsive expense, no to an invitation that slows down your goals, no to a momentary pleasure that could compromise your future. The word no protects your most important yes. And learning to use it is an art that separates the mature from the immature, the conscious from the reactive. Because financial freedom is born above all from the ability to make consistent choices, even when no one is watching. Walter also talks about the importance of setting daily goals. Great transformations don't happen all at once. They happen through the accumulation of small, well-executed actions. It's the same principle of compound interest, but applied to the mind. Each day, you keep a promise to yourself. You increase the balance of your confidence. And confidence is the most valuable asset of prosperity. There's no investment more profitable than believing in yourself and acting in alignment with that belief. Another essential habit, taking care of your sleep. Sleep deprivation is the silent enemy of self-discipline. When you sleep poorly, you think worse, you decide worse, and you spend worse. Sleeping well isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. It's during rest that your brain reorganizes information, clears stress, and strengthens self-control. Want to be more productive, more creative, and more prosperous? Start by sleeping better. Turn off the screens, take a deep breath, create a calm environment, and let your body regenerate. And of course, the author reinforces something that all masters of performance agree on. Organization is discipline in action. To organize your environment is to organize your mind. When your home, your workspace, or your finances are in chaos, your energy gets scattered. But when everything has its place, your mind relaxes and productivity rises. Organization is the invisible foundation of prosperity. Now, there's one point Daniel Walter highlights as a secret of high achievers: the power of mornings before 8 a.m. Through my own research and experience with successful people, I've noticed the same pattern. Those who achieve extraordinary results never waste the first hours of the day. They pray, they meditate, they reflect, and then they act. It's what Walter calls the 2 sacred hours. Those moments define the mental state with which you face the world. Prayer brings spiritual alignment. Meditation brings emotional clarity. And when you start your day aligned and clear, financial decisions flow naturally. You spend with awareness, work with purpose, and attract opportunities at the right frequency. Of course, none of this happens overnight. Changing habits requires patience, consistency, and kindness toward yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Progress is the accumulation of intelligent repetitions. And when discipline becomes part of who you are, prosperity stops being an effort and becomes a natural reflection of what you've become. At 40, 50, or 60 years old, you already have the wisdom to understand that life doesn't change by chance. It changes by decision. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it, subscribe to the channel, and comment. I achieve extraordinary results. And don't forget to check out our other materials on developing your financial mindset. You'll find them in the first pinned comment.